Right, the last time we spoke, we were talking about the bell curve and the meaning of the bell curve and how to apply it in the business world. The bell curve measures the normal distribution of any sort of trait. Can be height, can be weight, can be behaviors, can be thinking style or cognitive, can be passions. What I want to talk about today is pace. Let's talk about how pace impacts your organization and the people in it. If you think about juggling, right, if you're actually juggling oranges or balls or bowling pins, juggling is about rhythm. If you're used to juggling 5 oranges at one time, then when you're juggling 5 oranges, you can start to look around and you can start to have a conversation because you're in your normal rhythm. But if somebody throws you 2 more oranges, you're like, oh shoot, like I gotta focus and I gotta pay attention. And it adds stress and it depletes energy because it's outside of your normal rhythm. What people don't realize is the same thing is true if you take 2 oranges away. Because now it's outside of your normal rhythm and you have to slow down and you have to process and you have to think. And it adds stress and it depletes energy because it's outside of your normal rhythm. That's what we're measuring with pace. 1s, 2s, and 3s like to have 1, 2, or 3 things going on in their life at one time. 8s, 9s, and 10s want to have 8, 9, or 10 things going on in their lives at one time. 8s, 9s, and 10s get energy from having lots going on, from being able to jump from one project to the next. They can innovate because they can think about something different while they've got 10 other things going on. 1s, 2s, and 3s are really good at focus and attention to detail. If you need people to dot all the I's and cross all the T's and make sure the package has a pretty little bow on top before it gets handed off, then you want a 1, 2, or 3 on that project. If you've got to innovate, if you've got multiple things happening at one time in a role, then you need an 8, 9, or a 10 in that role. Remember, the majority of the population falls between the 4 and the 7. 68% of the population is going to fall between the 4 and the 7. The further you get on the outskirts of the bell curve, the more unique that trait becomes. So if someone scores a 1 on pace, they are more focused on attention to detail than 97.5% of the population. If they are a 10 on pace, they are energized by having multiple 10, 11, 12 things going on at one time, more so than 97.5% of the population. Again, no good or bad, right or wrong, just depends on what we need that person to do. So if you knew where you fell on this bell curve, are you like most people at the 4 to 7 where you can come over here when you need to and you can come over here when you need to, but this is where you have to go back to recharge your batteries. Remember, anytime we stretch and get outside of who we are at our core, it adds stress and it depletes energy. So think about this in the context of an organization. We want people on all sides of this bell curve. We want people who are 1s, 2s, and 3s to focus on the details. We want people who are 8s, 9s, and 10s who can handle multiple things coming at them at one time. We need both of those people, but often we'll have conflict between these two when they work in the same organization because they drive each other crazy. This person thinks this person is going too slow. This person thinks this person doesn't have a care in the world and that they're bad at their job because they can't do the details. When really that's not true. We each have different roles that we fill. And so we have to figure out how to play in the middle. When you have people who score in the middle, they need to go back here to recharge their batteries. If we leave them over here for any length of time or over here for any length of time, it adds stress and it depletes energy, and that's when we get burnout. Anytime we have someone stretching too far in any direction for too long, it adds stress, and we get burnout, we get physical sickness, we get mental breakdowns because they're trying to be someone that they're not for too long. How would you manage differently if you knew this about your people? Would you hire differently? If you knew that all your top performers in a given role fell on one side of the scale or the other, would you go seeking that? And would you give different kinds of projects to different people if you knew where they fell on this graph to maximize and help engage those individuals? Hope this was helpful.